Today is one of those non-glamorous farm days. We're not in the garden or in the orchard or messing with horses or bees or anything like that. Today is mechanic day. But we do have a nice break. Mr. Eric and I are going to go look at a piece of property. He's hoping to buy a little farm. So we're going to go and see what this piece that he had found online, we're going to go check it out and see what it has to offer. You ready to do this?
Yep.
All right, Mr. Eric, before we get out to the property, can you give us an idea of why you're looking, what you're looking for, kind of your hopes and dreams? You know, in
that's a lot.
60 seconds.
In 60 seconds, yeah. So I took a permaculture design course, I think in 2013 or so, and kind of opened me up to all the opportunities, all the possibilities of owning your own piece of land and doing what you can and providing for your own needs. I find myself down in South Texas. It's a good climate. You can grow citrus here. That's awesome. I love that. So I'm looking for my own little piece of heaven, and so it had to meet some criteria. 1, in my budget. 2, had to be a reasonable commute from where I work currently. 3, had to be, you know, had to have some land, had to have little restrictions so that I can keep livestock if I want to. And I've struggled with going back and forth whether I want raw land and stick a small home on it, or if I want to find something with a house already on it. This place I found online, of all places. It had been on the market for a little while. It's not as big as I want. I want something like 5 acres, you know. This is only like 1.6, but it's in town, and I can own livestock at this point, as far as I know. It seems like it could be within my price range, and it has a lot of good stuff to offer. They had a mother-in-law suite, which was basically a single-wide trailer that's hooked up to utilities. That is, which is an income in stream if I so choose. As of right now, it's vacant. The house itself is 1,200 square feet. It's not huge, but it fits my needs. I'm single. I only have a dog. No children, so I mean I don't need much. So what I was thinking long-term wise is to get rid of the single-wide structure if I can get the property, get it going the way I want to. It would make sense to build a structure that I design, that I can live in, that would be closer to the back pasture or the back part of the property where a lot of my design work will be going into, and using the original home as a secondary income stream.
Eric has clearly done a lot of dreaming about the possibilities that any piece of property could offer to him. Every time he finds one online, he goes through a series of questions. You know, is there proper access? Is there proper solar angle? How's the soil out there? Is the land affordable? Is there water? All of those things that you need to consider when you buy land. I'm curious, and it'll be really fun to see what this property looks like in person, and I'm glad I get to go along with him so we can check this out together.
And a lot of properties out here are just hayfields or cattle rangeland. It could be so much more.
Oh, it could be so much more. And unfortunately, it's going to be more. This is between San Antonio and Austin, which is growing like crazy. And there's going to be a lot of development out in this area. So what we're seeing right now that is farmland, within a few years is going to be businesses and neighborhoods and all sorts of things. The same type of thing that you see growing out by where I live. Conveniently close to a nursery.
This is the entrance to the rental property. So there's the house. Here's the rental property, and behind that is the paddock.
The property, just when we show up, is clearly divided into two pieces. There's the property up front, which is the main home, and then the rental property on the back, with fences all around. So it's clearly divided into two properties. The front one is more landscaped, more trees, and this back one has a lot more open space, a lot more potential for livestock and gardens.
Nice big open area.
Lots of space for gardens. And south is roughly
that way. Yes.
Yeah. And the beautiful sound of neighbors' dogs.
So it actually, if you want to rent that out, it has its own driveway too.
Yeah, it has its own driveway and it has its own address.
Oh.
It's like an A, B. It's like...
That's why it says A and B.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo. Watch out for the ants.
I know, there's a lot of ants.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Oh, the fish are here.
It's like a
Mulberry?
volunteer mulberry.
Pretty nicely landscaped up front.
Oh, well, I couldn't see them. But yeah, look. You don't eat those, do you?
No.
Could do some aquaponics off of the decorative pond.
What kind of tree this is? It's a big tree. It's got a lot of ivy on it. Looks pretty cool. A pretty sizable koi pond. With some pretty sizable koi. Knowing me, I'd take them all out and stick catfish in
I know,
or something.
catfish or tilapia.
Or tilapia or something.
The house itself is pretty small, but it at least from the outside, it's cute.
I believe it was built in the 70s?
1960.
50, huh?
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So it's a
Been here for a while.
66-year-old home.
And it's not asbestos either, like in
Right.
some of the old homes out here. Well, it was a pergola and then they covered it. Looks like there's some frogs or something in there.
Frog pond.
Frog pond, yeah. And of course I see some other stuff peeking out. There's an old stock tank that's kind of overgrown. A lot of this area is grown up quite a bit. Have access to the rental property right here. Walking access, which is nice.
Neighbors on both sides have guard dogs.
Yeah, apparently. So we've got a commercial property over here on this side. Fairly large open paddock. There's a donkey back here.
So the gentleman said that they have horses and goats and chickens here before.
Oh, really?
And there's never been a problem.
That's good to know. Very good to know. Property extends even further than I anticipated.
On this very...
That's a guard dog.
The donkey is included with the property?
I think so.
I believe it is.
Hello, donkey.
I believe.
Whenever purchasing property, the surrounding property, the neighbors, is a consideration. There are some commercial properties and other residential nearby. This is an unrestricted area. That doesn't mean that it's a bad piece. It just means that you're not getting that serene country feeling. But still, if you want to be in town and you don't mind having that type of neighbor, and this is plenty of space. I think it's 1.6, 1.7 acres. So there's lots of room to do the gardens and landscaping for permaculture type things, where you could build a system of food producing, food forest or gardens, or having livestock. There's room here if you don't mind that type of neighbor, but it is something always to consider. There is the structure here that's used for the donkey. If the donkey didn't stay or wasn't a part of the plan, this structure could easily be converted into chicken coops or storage barn or anything needed. It's hard not to look at any piece of property, no matter how degraded or whatever the neighbors are, if you have the lens of some of the permaculture concepts, you want to make it better and you want to start designing the system. Even if you're not going to get the property, you just can't help but try to figure out how to make this a better space. Lots of fertilizer on hand. So this is inside the what would be a rental structure. So what would be an asset, which is an income property, because of the condition, looks like it may be a detriment. Rebuilding that, remodeling that may cost more than it's worth, and actually pulling it out may be more difficult than it's worth too.
There's a covered garage here, but there is no actual outbuilding garage.
Right.
So if you want to do a lot of stuff.
So another one of your options actually is to not have a second income property, but to build a shop back there.
Build a shop back there, or to you know, do something to that nature.
There you go.
That has power, it has water back there. It's a secondary property, but you know, it also could be. You also could just go ahead and put in something and
live in it.
It'd be a shop right now, but has the possibility of turning into a fully outfitted home, and then being able to rent out this property right here as a secondary income stream.
Right. Yeah.
Here's the interior, and right away I look at the floors. Looks like original hardwood, which is pretty neat.
To me, the property's value is not in the homes, that's for sure. The value is in the land, and the
location also has something to do with it.
Oh sure, the location's good. The landscaping that exists and the potential for food producing landscape is definitely back here.
We'll see if it's worth it, if I can afford it, and we'll go from there.
We just got back to the farm, Eric and I. Maybe you'll find some of that helpful. Keep in mind that we're not professionals. We're just two guys, two dreamers that happen to have some exposure to permaculture, which kind of opens your mind to the possibilities of working with nature and rebuilding degrading systems.